This is a name, and I'm actually going to make a video about what I just read right now a few moments ago. It's actually from the book from Maulana Maududi, a renowned scholar, and his book, which is called Diniyat, in which he speaks about the origin of Islam, what does Islam means, and what are the main factors that we have to understand if we are really going to study Islam or we're going to practice Islam. Because a lot of people who really are following Islam, they don't really understand that it's not a different religion from what came before. I mean, the Abrahamic religions, those are not different from these. What I mean by that is that Islam is not, Islam doesn't mean that it's something that is only for a specific people that came after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But Islam itself, it means that submitting to God, believing in God, and believing that there's somebody who created all this, and you have to submit your will to God. And this concept was actually brought by all the um, prophets that came before our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So every prophet that came before our prophet was also trying to teach the concept of Islam. So every person was a Muslim even before our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But what happened eventually is that we all know that the teachings and books and everything got into be, um, you know, people changed what was written, what was told, and prophet came, and those prophets were for specific, people, for societies. But our prophet, when he came, he was not just for a specific society. He was for all the people who are living in the world, and that's one thing. So I want to speak something about our prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that what kind of person he used to be. And I just looked at it from a different perspective. We all know that when our prophet was born, his parents died, and he used to be an ordinary person, an ordinary kid. He used to go and do the things that the people used to do, such as, I don't know how to say that in English, but he used to handle the animals, that sort of work. And he also he used to he got into he used to be a merchant too. He used to be a trader, and that's how he used to do the livings. And he did it for almost 40 years. He did it for 40 years. Can you believe it? And it's really interesting, and it's really necessary to understand what kind of person our prophet used to be before he became a prophet, before he was told that he's a prophet, he's a messenger from Allah, from a creator. When he, for the 40 years and all his life, when he was among people, he used to be considered really honest. He used to be considered a pious person, and he used to help everybody. He used to never lie, and he used to have sympathy for all the people who were among them, who were among him. So that's something to know. Um, and he never used to lie to anybody. He used to be a really trustworthy person, and people used to give their belongings, things, to our prophet, so he can actually keep those things safe. And he would, because they knew that he would not be a dishonest person, and he never used to lie. That's something we have to understand. And for 40 years he kept doing it. And the kind of thing that really attracted me by reading what was actually written was that he, even before he got to be a prophet, he never followed the system. The people around him were ignorant. They were worshipping stones. They were worshipping things that any ignorant person would. But he never believed in those things. He never did what others were doing. Can you imagine that a person who's born among like ignorant people who are doing so much who are following so much ignorancy, and that person among raising up among those people still doesn't follow up that system. He never lies. He never worships a stone. He's philosophical. He spends time alone. He used to go to cave and meditate. Even he's not educated. He cannot read. He used to look at the world from a different perspective. And he knew what was wrong and right even before somebody told him. Even before somebody told him, he knew what was right and wrong. And I was watching a video in which there was this thing that why is that not everybody is having the prophecy from the God? Not why is that God doesn't show himself or the angels or something like that? And the answer that that scholar gave him to that person was that if you would get to have an angel or if you could get to have the prophecy or something, then you would be a messenger, you would be a prophet, and then there would be no exam. So what you're saying is that you just want to know everything and you don't want to go through the exam. That's the thing. If you would know everything, then you wouldn't need any sort of guidance, right? So, and that scholar also said that Allah chose the people who were actually the best among among the society, among other people who were living at that time or all around the world. And this place that Allah chose for the Prophet was also so much interesting and to be analyzed, because that place wasn't really random. The Arab people weren't random. They were people who had so much potential to change, and the people around the world, they had already progressed to some level. They had already acquired some sort of livings. But these Arabs, they had never gotten to be in some sort of major conflicts. They had never conquered something. They were living in the huge deserts, in an ocean of desert. And they were away, they were apart from the world. That's how they were living. And it's really interesting how Allah chose one person in in the middle of the desert, in an ocean of desert, and Allah gave him this philosophical understanding that he would not worship a stone. Can you imagine? He's not going to worship a stone because everybody else is doing it. And he would not lie. He would have sympathy. I mean, people don't really get to be shocked by this, but if you really look at it from a deeper perspective, then you would be amazed because you would know that how different this is. So, and at the age of 40, he used to have this, you know, craving for the goodness. So he always used to meditate, and he always wanted people to end this sort of ignorancy. So at the age of 40, he got to have the prophecy from Allah, and that's when he became a messenger. He started preaching, and so and so on. And he, for 13 years, he had to go through so much hardships. And even after 13 years, he had to go through so much. Even after traveling, to another place. So it's really understand. And he used to, even when he wasn't, he did not become a messenger. He used to meditate. He used to discipline himself from the things that constrains his character and makes him among like others, like ignorant people, like who worship idols. And it's so much beautiful, I would say. And I just wanted to, the main point here is that to be able to become good, to be able to reach the true self, to be able to reach to some higher point, you have to discipline yourself. You have to differentiate between good and bad. You have to have that craving within yourself that you you shouldn't really be like what others are doing. You can create your own personal reality about the world. You can do that. And that's really interesting. If you would have that craving, you can actually change the whole world. And for 1400 years, it has been like that. Just one person changed the whole world. Can you imagine? Like, it's beyond comprehension, right? So I want to have that craving. I want myself to have that craving, to reach to potential, to really discipline, to control, to stay away from desires which makes us so much slave to the materialistic world. I don't want us to be slaved. I want us to focus on that we as people can reach to such higher level that this world is actually trying to make us and take us away. And it does not matter what religion you follow, what do you do, but I want you to know that whatever you have within your side, inside you, I want you to know that you have to be disciplined. You have to make yourself, you know, away. You have to take yourself away from the cravings of this world. Once you will do that, you'll have that energy and frequency and things in yourself that the world and the universe and God will actually help you having the things that you want. So it's a model for the universe. Got to understand that. Thank you so much if anybody of you has watched this video. And yeah, thank you. Take care of yourself.